I've spent 25 years watching people try to explain what makes humans different. Most of them point to intelligence. Some say tools. They're looking at the wrong layer. Yuval Harari got it right in Sapiens. What separates us isn't what we know. It's what we can imagine together. Shared fictions, money, nations, corporations, laws. None of them exist outside our collective agreement that they do. We believe in something hard enough, together, and it becomes real. That's not philosophy. That's the operating system of civilization. And right now, that same mechanism, the one that built cities and markets and governments, is locking onto something new. Something that doesn't just respond to our shared fiction. Something that generates it. If you want to understand where this goes, follow for more. Here's what most people miss about those shared fictions. They don't arrive fully formed. Money didn't show up one day as coins and central banks. It started as trust, then symbols, then systems so complex we built entire professions just to maintain the illusion. The pattern repeats. Every major shared fiction begins simple, then calcifies into infrastructure we can't imagine living without. Religion, law, the corporation, an entity with rights but no body. We invented that in the 1600s. It reshaped everything. Now we're doing it again. We're not adopting AI. We're weaving it into the next story we tell ourselves about how the world works. And like every fiction before it, the early believers will build the rules everyone else inherits. Early humans couldn't cooperate beyond 100 people. You can't scale trust past the number of faces you can remember. So we invented something new. Stories we could all believe in. Nations, corporations, money, religion. None of them exist in the physical world. You can't touch a nation. It's a line on a map we agreed not to cross. A corporation is a legal document with rights but no body. Currency is paper, or now just numbers on a screen that we collectively decided has value. These fictions, and I mean that word precisely, allowed us to organize at the scale of millions. Then billions. We imagined them. We acted as if they were real. And then they were. That's not philosophy. That's infrastructure. And right now we're building the next one. Except this time, the fiction can talk back. Here's the pattern I've seen play out across every technology shift in my career. A new technology appears. We build systems around it. New ways to organize work, create value, distribute power. Those systems unlock growth, explosive growth. More wealth, more complexity, more coordination than we thought possible. Then the weight starts to show. The very systems that created the growth begin to strain. Inequalities widen. Trust erodes. The problems we created by succeeding become the problems we can't solve with the tools that got us here. We call that a transformation roadmap in enterprise settings. In civilizations, it's usually a crisis. And we're there again, not because the technology failed, because the systems around it succeeded until they didn't. We're living inside frameworks built for the industrial era, and they're breaking under their own weight. Look at what's stacking up. The cost of living rising faster than wages. Housing, education, healthcare, the foundations of a stable life, becoming unaffordable for millions. Political and social tensions, widening as institutions built for a slower world, struggle to keep pace. Climate systems under stress we can no longer pretend isn't happening. This isn't a list of unrelated problems. It's the same problem wearing different masks. The systems that created the growth can't solve the crises the growth created. I've watched this pattern in enterprise transformations. The infrastructure that got you to scale becomes the thing preventing you from adapting at scale. We're there, not at the enterprise level, at the civilization level. So here's where we are. Humanity has hit a wall. When the problems created by our own success get this complex, this interconnected, this fast, we don't just patch the old system. History's clear on this. Patching doesn't work. When the wall is this big, we start looking for something else entirely. A new paradigm, a new operating system, and into that vacuum, AI steps in. Not because we invited it, because we need it. AI didn't just show up with impressive demos and funding rounds. It arrived with something far more important: total capture of human imagination, the smartest minds, the most ambitious capital, the kind of talent that used to go build rockets or cure diseases, all pointing in one direction. That doesn't happen by accident. I've worked in technology long enough to recognize the pattern. Fire gave us survival. Steam gave us industry. Electricity rewired civilization. The internet connected it. Every leap follows the same arc. A new tool emerges. We don't just use it, we reorganize society around it. AI is the next step in that sequence. Not because it's novel, because it fits the template of every tool that changed what it meant to be human. We didn't choose this. We recognized it. So why AI specifically? Because every other system we built is running out of runway. AI promises something we haven't had in a generation: expansion instead of contraction, intelligence that scales, productivity that compounds, not incrementally, exponentially. I've watched organizations spend 14 months planning a transformation that delivers 4% efficiency. AI is compressing decades of scientific progress into years, opening entirely new ways to work, create, and yes, govern ourselves. We're not choosing this story because it's comfortable. We're choosing it because the alternative is managed decline. And humans don't do well with managed decline. We do better with abundance we have to figure out how to handle. That's the bet we're making. Let me be clear about something. Every technology leap we've just walked through came with massive risks: inequality, misuse, catastrophic mistakes. The printing press destabilized empires. Electricity killed people before we figured out insulation. The internet gave us misinformation at scale. None of this is new. But here's what the data actually shows. Over time, humanity extracts more benefit than harm. Not because we're careful, because we're adaptable. The transition is always turbulent. People get hurt, systems break. But the arc bends toward expansion, which brings us to the paradox nobody wants to name out loud. We're not patching the old system anymore. We're leaping to a new one. And we're doing it whether we feel ready or not. Or the paradox no one is naming. Here's the contradiction most people won't acknowledge. We're engaged in a massive global act of leaping, not patching. I've led teams through transformation programs. The instinct is always to fix what's broken, patch the legacy system, optimize the old process, make the incumbent infrastructure work a little longer. That's not what's happening here. We're putting billions of dollars, our brightest minds, and our collective attention into tomorrow's technology, while the systems of today crumble around us. One side, billions struggling with affordability, housing, healthcare, immediate crises. The other side, unified focus on AI-driven abundance. It's not gradual transition. It's a split in human attention, so dramatic you can measure it in capital flows. We stopped fixing. We started building the next thing. So here's the question nobody wants to answer out loud. Why chase abundance tomorrow while neglecting affordability today? On one hand, pouring billions into data centers while people can't afford housing looks reckless, maybe even cruel. On the other hand, inventing our way past the wall instead of trying to patch a broken system is humanity's actual survival mechanism. It's how we've always gotten through, not by managing decline, by building something new before the old thing collapses completely. That's not comforting, but it might be true. So what's actually at stake? Two futures, both real possibilities. One, AI delivers. We hit post-scarcity. Abundance so total we can barely sketch what it looks like. The affordability crisis just dissolves. Two, we get trapped. All that capital, all that talent, all that civilizational focus, and we end up with new forms of inequality layered on top of the old ones. The crises we're leaping over, still there, just harder to see through the hype. I've negotiated enough high-stakes decisions to know what a bet the company moment looks like. This is bet the species. And the path we lock in over the next decade doesn't just shape the next quarter, it defines the century. Hashtag AI as humanity's next shared fiction. As we close this out, here's what I keep coming back to. Every age is defined by the story it chooses to believe in. Money, nations, the corporation. We imagined them, and they became real. The breaking point we talked about? It's here. The dam is cracking. But the new story is already chosen. Our collective imagination has locked onto AI. The energy is pouring in. The systems are being built. Whether this turns out to be historic wisdom or catastrophic folly, we won't know. That clarity only comes to the people looking back. The question isn't whether AI will shape our future. That's already happening. The question is whether we'll shape it wisely enough to move us past the wall we've built for ourselves. If you want to see how this plays out, follow for more.